Joining us is Lindsay Gilligan, Director of the Geological Survey of New South Wales, who was awarded the Public Service Medal in this year's Queen's Birthday Awards. Lindsay, welcome.
Oh, thank you.
What's the New Frontiers Exploration Initiative all about?
Well, New Frontiers is an important initiative by the New South Wales Government, and it essentially is about promoting exploration investment in New South Wales. But New Frontiers follows on from two previous initiatives that government put up, and one was the Discovery 2000 initiative in 1994, which went for 6 years, and that was followed by Exploration New South Wales, that went from 2000 through to 2007. So we're looking at Exploration New South Wales, Discovery 2000, and now New Frontiers, together sort of amounting to something like, 17 years of high-level support by the New South Wales Government of the exploration, and the exploration industry particularly, and with a focus on petroleum and minerals. And the information focus is because information is the way you derive competitive advantage globally. High quality geoscience information lowers exploration risk, and it works with other advantages that a jurisdiction might have. So, we have good quality geoscience information that, taken together with our natural mineral endowment, makes, say, New South Wales a more attractive place to invest.
The New South Wales Government, in fact, has extended New Frontiers for a further 3 years, you understand. What are you hoping to achieve in that period?
In our previous initiatives, we've been focusing on bringing the general level of information, the general level of geoscience information across the state up to a certain level. So we've undertaken major airborne geophysical programs, undertaken major geological programs. So it's all about getting that pre-competitive geoscience coverage across the state to make New South Wales more attractive, to lower exploration risk. But what New Frontiers is about is actually focusing on some of those areas that have been previously too hard or harder, which are the areas undercover. So it's the far northwest of the state, the far southwest of the state, and also the areas of depth, the deeper areas. So New Frontiers is focusing on new frontiers, I suppose, in the spatial sense, in the two-dimensional sense, but also the deeper areas in known mineral provinces in the state. So New Frontiers has a particular focus from a minerals perspective on an area that we call the Thompson Origin, which is in the far northwest of the state. And the work under New Frontiers has demonstrated what we believe is probably one of the most profound changes in the understanding of sort of mineral potential in New South Wales that sort of has happened probably in the last 50 years. And that is that we have this major belt of rocks undercover, which we knew very little about before until we'd actually undertaken these major programs or major geophysical programs. And this province, this New Frontier province we call the Thompson Origin, now seems, we think, it seems that it is maybe an extension of the major belt of rocks in New South Wales that hosts most of the major mineral deposits. In other words, it's an extension of what we call the Lachlan Fold Belt, or the Lachlan Origin. And it's the Lachlan Fold Belt that has the Cadias, the Cowes, the North Parks, the Cobars. So it's a very, very rich mineral province, and we think now that this so-called Thompson Origin is an extension of that zone up under the dirt, undercover. The zone goes into Queensland under the dirt and then rolls back into New South Wales. The exploration industry has certainly voted with their feet in the last 2 years. Because of that work, exploration licence coverages in New South Wales have gone from, I think it was something like 5 in the whole of Thompson Origin, New South Wales, which is a very large area. It's sort of probably arguably about an eighth of the state in area. Exploration licence coverage went from about 5 or 6 to about 100 in 2 years.
Lindsay, discovery rate is a global exploration issue, and the recent record of world-class discoveries in Australia is of real concern to industry. Given this, how can New South Wales, and for that matter Australia, continue to be competitive in attracting international mineral exploration investment?
Australia is immensely endowed with mineral resources, but a lot of the areas are actually covered with dirt, regolith, and some of this regolith can be quite deep, and it makes exploration harder. And all the states and the Commonwealth and major research institutions have all been focusing on this very issue to make Australia far more competitive by developing the smarts for exploration under the dirt, under this cover, because arguably there's a hell of a lot of ground out there that's under the dirt that has the same mineral potential and contains the big deposits yet to be found. And that's the focus of New Frontiers, developing the smarts and really sort of improving the understanding of the geology in the third dimension. The geology undercover is critical to making the explorers sort of take the risks and sort of putting the effort in these areas of cover, because they are exploration, from an exploration viewpoint, this is very challenging.
Sounds enormously exciting. Lindsay Gilligan, what points will you be covering in your presentation to the Mining New South Wales Conference in Orange on the 1st and 3rd of September?
Well, I think that one of the important things that I will be covering is our plans in relation to the New Frontiers initiative, but also some of the big geoscience outcomes, some of the ones that I've been referring to previously about sort of what's happening in the northwest of the state, what's happening in the southwest of the state as far as our New Frontiers program is concerned. And I've mentioned the Thomson Origin, but there are some very, very exciting things emerging now in the southwest of the state. We've pretty well established now that we can track the Bendigo zone and the Stawell zone from Victoria. These are very, very gold-rich zones in Victoria. We've tracked those into New South Wales. We know where they are in New South Wales, and they present some interesting exploration opportunities.
Lindsay Gilligan, I'm sure delegates will be very interested in learning more from your presentation. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Roger.